Good night, Malaysian 370.
For 11 years, the Indian Ocean has kept its darkest secret. 239 souls simply vanished. Most people think the search is over. They think the mystery will never be solved. They are wrong. Because right now, as you watch this video, the engines are running again. A $70 million gamble has just begun in the most dangerous waters on Earth. This is the story of the final hunt for MH370, and this time, we might actually find it. In this video, we are not just looking back at history, we are looking at the breaking news. Is this the final chapter for MH370? Let's find out.
Sky Investigation AI.
March 8, 2014. It started as a routine red-eye flight from Kuala Lumpur to Beijing, a Boeing 777, one of the safest aircraft in the world. 239 people on board, ready to go home. 40 minutes after takeoff, as the plane was leaving Malaysian airspace, the transponder was manually turned off. The plane disappeared from civilian radar instantly, but it didn't crash. Not yet. Instead, military radar tracked it, making a sharp, aggressive turn back. It flew over Malaysia, then up the Malacca Strait, and finally turned south. For nearly 7 hours, MH370 flew into the darkness of the southern Indian Ocean until it ran out of fuel. It became a ghost flight, ending in the most remote place on Earth. For years, the initial search led by Australia combed the ocean floor. It cost nearly $200 million and ended in failure. The Malaysian government was done. They simply couldn't justify spending more taxpayer money on a cold case. But then Ocean Infinity stepped in.
Our commitment remains steadfast.
A private seabed exploration company with a proposal that sounded insane to the industry. No cure, no pay. Here's the deal. Ocean Infinity covers all the operational costs, millions of dollars for fuel, crew, and technology. If they come back empty-handed, they lose everything. Zero. But if they find the wreckage or the flight recorders within 90 days, the Malaysian government will pay them a reward of up to $70 million. It is the biggest gamble in aviation history. So, why are they so confident? Because they aren't using traditional methods. They are unleashing a fleet of autonomous hunters. Let's go back to the cockpit. For 11 years, the search was paralyzed by a single question. Was the plane a ghost flight, drifting aimlessly after a depressurization event? Or was it a rogue flight, guided by a human hand until the very last second? How does a modern airliner simply vanish? For 11 years, the answers have ranged from tragic mechanical failure to Hollywood-style conspiracies. 4 main theories sit on the table, but one by one, they crash against the wall of reality. Suspect number 1, the cargo. MH370 was carrying tons of lithium-ion batteries. The theory? A catastrophic fire. Toxic smoke fills the cockpit. The pilots make that sharp U-turn, desperately trying to reach the nearest airport, but they are overcome before they can land. The plane flies on, a zombie flight full of the dead. But there is a fatal flaw. Fire is chaotic. It destroys. It doesn't think. It doesn't manually switch off transponders and communication systems one by one. the silence began before the turn. Possibility number 2, hypoxia, a sudden loss of cabin pressure. Oxygen runs out and silence falls within seconds. The aircraft becomes a ghost flight, cruising on autopilot until the fuel runs dry and it spirals into the sea. This explains the silence, but ghosts don't navigate. That night, the plane performed complex maneuvers, threading the needle between military borders to avoid radar detection. That is not the path of a dying machine. That is the path of a calculating mind. But what if the cockpit wasn't empty? Theory number 3, the intruder, a hijack. Whether it was stowaways emerging from the cargo hold or a sophisticated cyber attack through the plane's electronic brain, the eBay. There is no ransom note, no claim of responsibility. Yet, the deafening silence from governments and search companies like Ocean Infinity keeps the door open for the darkest conspiracies. Was the plane taken? Theory number 4.
Looks like a strong cell just off the nose, Captain.
Yes, I see it. Advise ATC we need a deviation, say 20 left.
Good night, Malaysian 370.
When you eliminate the impossible, what remains is the most terrifying truth of all. Captain Zahari Ahmad Shah. After signing off with Good Night Malaysian 370, he severed ties with the world. He likely locked the cockpit door and turned the plane into a tomb. Ocean Infinity isn't looking for an accident site. They are hunting for a crime scene. If Zahari was in control until the very end, he didn't just crash the plane. He ditched it. He glided it softly into the ocean's darkest corner to hide the evidence. Forever. December 31st, 2025. Ocean Infinity broke the silence. They deployed the Armada 8605, not based on guesses, but on what they call credible new evidence. It represents a convergence of revised drift modeling and the highly debated WSPR technology, invisible radio waves that may have tracked the plane's final moments. Tracking data analyzed by investigators reveals that Ocean Infinity's vessel, the Armada 8605, stopped precisely just outside a specific area known as the Blelly-Marchand zone. Instead of crossing it directly, the ship began heading north, flanking the eastern edge. They are not just looking, they are hunting. Why this specific coordinate? Researchers Patrick Blelly and Jean-Luc Marchand argue that the plane didn't crash in a death spiral. They propose that the aircraft was flown until the very end, expertly glided into the water to minimize debris. The Armada's current path suggests Ocean Infinity is taking this controlled ditching theory as their primary lead. This leads us back to the most chilling piece of evidence. Years ago, a flight path was recovered from the captain's home simulator. It showed a route ending in the southern Indian Ocean. The zone the Armada is scanning right now aligns disturbingly well with that simulated suicide run. They are operating over the Broken Ridge, a treacherous underwater mountain range. If a pilot wanted to hide a massive Boeing 777 forever, this dark, rugged terrain is exactly where he would park it. The robots currently scanning the abyss are the apex predators of deep-sea exploration. They can see through sand. They can map the darkness. There is nowhere to hide. If the plane is in the Blelly-Marchand zone, they will find it. That is a technological certainty. But we must face the terrifying alternative. What if they find nothing? If science, simulators, and drift modeling all scream, the plane is here, but the world's best technology says, no, it is not? That wouldn't just mean the search failed. It would imply that for 11 years, the satellite data, the math, and the maps were wrong. It would mean we aren't looking for a lost plane anymore. We are staring at a map that may have been drawn to deceive us.
The the ocean keeps its secrets.
For now. The Armada is out there right now. This is an active operation. Subscribe and activate notifications. We will return the moment a discovery is made.